McLeod Pro-Am today. 12 o'clock shotgun. So I've got a bit of time in the morning to get up and get ready. And body's feeling average. So the best way to start the day for me, I'm taking the dogs for a walk, and then I'll get home and probably hit a few balls in the sim and then head out. And what a start to the day, because our boy Minwoo Lee got up this morning, and we just love to see that. It's going to be a good day. Just got back home, and I'm going to pull the net across, hit a few golf balls, and then try and get a bit more loose. I think we're through like 9 holes or something, and I'm like 4 over, and it's just nothing's working. Like nothing's working. But we persist. That's all we can do. Just keep going. Chill. So let's do the recap section of this episode, right? McLeod Golf Club Associate Pro-Am. Oh my, what a round of golf I put together. I had 8 over off the stick, which is so much worse than what I was expecting, and so much worse than I have been performing. I think it's the lack of actually playing golf. Yes, it's one thing to go and practice heaps, but you still got to play, right? I felt so sluggish all day, and it was wet underfoot, and I think that kind of does something, because you're dragging what feels like an extra couple kilos around, just trying to drag yourself around and get through it. It was a slog. Shotgun start. I'll bring up the scorecard. So here's the scorecard. I started on 8, shotgun start. Bogeyed the first, my first, and then had a couple bogeys in a row. And then I finished on 7, which is a par 5, and hit one out of bounds. Internal out of bounds, which I'll never agree with. Like, It's to stop people taking shortcuts. But like, if you hit it long enough to go through shortcuts, then I think you deserve to do that, right? And if you want to take it on, and you end up at a tree line, then that's the risk, right? I don't think internal out of bounds should be a thing. It's part of the golf course. I'll never understand it. I'll never agree with it. But we'll move on. So double the last. That's no. You don't want to do that. So there's the scorecard. We'll make of that what it is. But the real thing I want to watch and want to look at is we use Draw More Circles, which is a stats keeping app that focuses on strokes gained. So essentially you pick a category of golfer that you want to compare yourself to, and then you enter your statistics from every single golf shot, where it's if you're laid up, if you're in the rough, if you're hitting from, if you're hitting out of the sand, if you're hitting a hazard or whatever, and you tell it what distance you have on every single shot. And once you put that in, it gives you a diagram, a 4-point diagram. So off the tee, there's 4 categories. There's off the tee, short game, putting, and then approach shots. So it breaks down your whole round and it puts it into a little diagram and tells you where you sit in comparison to the category of golfer you've picked. So there's things like professional, there's professional top 10, there's PGA Tour, there's Div 1 college or whatever. And then I've got mine set to male scratch because, let's face it, I'm not an elite player. I've been playing a long time. I play to about scratch for the most part. I think my overall strokes gained from all my rounds is like 0.63 or something better than a scratch marker, which is great, awesome, fantastic. This particular round, I am nearly, 3.7 strokes worse than a scratch marker. It takes into account the length of each hole, like the length of the golf course, all that kind of stuff as well. So it was a day. So I'll bring up my comparison chart here. So the orange is a scratch marker, what a scratch marker would normally do in those conditions. And the blue is me. Now let's talk about one very specific stat there. Off the tee. So you look at short game. I'm 0.77 strokes gained to a scratch marker for my short game. Great. Good. Really, really good round from short game. Good round from putting. Better than a scratch marker when I come to putting, which is always, those two things have always been a strength. That one there, off the tee. Let's talk about it. I am 4 shots worse than a scratch marker off the tee. That is like on the horizontal line. Like no peak at all. That is flat. That is...
You're right. That's like Flatsville.
Shocking. So that's why I'm doing this series, right? Is to see where I suck, figure out a plan to work on that specific area, and then the next video I make on, when I go to the range and do my practice session will be based on whatever stat I need working on that week. So off the tee, that is what we're going to be working on this week. That is alarmingly bad. So, if I can fix this up, if I can bring this down, then I go from 30th something out of 40 odd in a Pro-Am to top 5ing, top 10ing, that is... It's also fun putting all the stats in because you put them in and then, you don't know what's going to happen, and then it comes out and you're waiting for it, and then it comes out and then it shows you that, and you just nearly vomit in your mouth. So that's why we're doing this, right? We're going to figure out a way to get better off the tee because that is absolutely atrocious. So yeah, bear with me. Let's do it. Let's get better at off the tee. That's this week's goal. Thank you for watching.